guys, welcome back to another video. Peter Kennedy, Kennedy's Garage, Portlaw. Normally I start my videos boom inside in the car, so the I suppose the gist of it is you just get a screenshot of the dash to start with, driving the car, looking at fault codes. Customer's complaint is money light. Thought she was actually at the automatically turning off, and I thought she might have started up again of her own accord, but she didn't. So this item is on. I've just taken it for a little bit of a test drive. Starting to rain, and I have no drivability issues. I do see here where the man has a couple of fault codes. There's a number there, so I don't want to show a number. A couple of fault codes: P0401, P2003, sorry, P2033, P2085, P200C. EGR, temperature sensor, high temperature. So we've temperature. I've done a code scan. While doing a code scan, in engine module, we have what he said. Excuse me. P0401. I kind of, I don't know what I sound like lately. I've just coughed for a while anyway, but neither here nor there. P0401, exhaust gas recirculation, insufficient flow. Okay, interesting. Diesel particulate filter, high temperature. 2033 exhaust gas temperature sensor 2, high voltage. 2085 exhaust temperature sensor 2, circuit intermittent. Okay, so sensor 2, temperature sensor 2, high temperature. So could we have 1, 2 and 3? I don't like the layout of these Opel and or Vauxhalls on the Opel, because you know, normally they give me a smaller little line gaps and I can see them all kind of closer. But in engine control module anyway, exhaust gas recirculation, insufficient flow, particle filter, high temperature, exhaust gas temperature sensor 2, circuit high, exhaust gas temperature sensor 2, circuit intermittent. Okay, now if we roll down here, I think I have 14 fault codes. I do. In the body control module. So power start module, switch circuit, electronic control unit, software, control module, power circuit, low voltage, battery low, control module 5, I see it 5 volt reference, the way I'm going to call it out, hood ajar circuit, short to ground, brake pedal, do we need to worry about any of this? Left front tire pressure sensor, missing reference. I've seen there's any message for tire pressure sensors here. The sensors do fail. Batteries around this age are kind of starting to fail on these things, you know, 7-8 years old. Tire pressure. Control module voltage reference, output 3. That's kind of it. Okay, I think we're going to cut it here. Going to look at a little bit of live data in engine control module and see what's in there. Again, and I say this all the time. Well, I don't say it all the time, but I feel it all the time. When you're asking me in-depth questions, unfortunately, I'm classing myself as a little bit of a silly Billy, and I'm moving. I was going to move a car for traffic jam this here. Because I'm a silly Billy and I know nothing, in theory, when it asks me those questions, I don't know the answers to those questions. So is this thing a Euro 6 NCP, Euro 6B NE4, Euro 6D temporary NCV? I don't actually know. Go and guess one. What I normally do. Someone would say to me, oh, there's a sticker somewhere, you can see this crack. Maybe I'll have a look in a few moments and I just see. I think they said it could either be in the glove box on the last Opel or Vauxhall I done, or in the boot, the trunk, as you might call it. But for now, I'm going to get in here, look at a little bit of live data, have a look at temperatures and stuff. I'll do a little bit of searching, and then maybe I'll hook up with you again in a second. Just having a little fast look at freeze frame data. Doesn't give me any weird, crazy stuff on it, or phrase it better. Doesn't give me any good information. System voltage, oxygen sensor, milliamps, barometric pressure, warm-ups since DTC is cleared, mass airflow, intake air temperature, vehicle speed, engine coolant temperature, blah, blah, blah. How many times the car was started, and ignition cycles with malfunction since first malfunction, 62, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of similar rolling around on all of the DPF or the exhaust temperature. So I don't have any good data on freeze frame. I have looked at my live data there as well. So I looked at that. I searched highlighted, sure. Temperatures, just at a glance without even customizing. Exhaust gas temperature 1 and 2. Maybe I should bring it for a spin, try and see. Probably should clear faults. Interesting one here. I must bring up the engine temperature just to see what happens, okay? Interesting one here. DPF soot accumulation 80%. DPF regeneration status not required. Distance since last DPF regeneration 579. So it doesn't need it. It's telling us it doesn't need a DPF regeneration. Our soot accumulation is quite high. Just kind of funny kind of numbers. Maybe I should, I think I'll clear faults, give it a drive, cycle and make sure. Try and see, can I see anything going wrong? Get underneath, do a visual. Just after jumping out, and I'm looking in here, and what do I see? I see an engine that's actually the exact same as a 1.6 diesel Opel Astra I was at recently. And what did I have on the Astra? And it's only just, maybe is something joining the dots for me, I don't know. We did have a diesel particulate filter was at the breaking up and coming down to block the actual exhaust system. Is there any stretch of the imagination that something is after dropping down? I see an exhaust temperature sensor there. I see an exhaust temperature sensor just there. Could anything have affected that by moving around, dropping down? Is there a third one in there? Don't know, it's interesting because I can only see live data for 2. So maybe I'm going to do a visual on it. And the other one was really easy to take the exhaust system off. I had 3 bolts and just pop, glance up there. Maybe it's such an easy test I have to go in and have to have a look again, haven't I? Okay guys, is this too easy? What the heck is going on here? I suppose, maybe. And lads would say to me, oh, you should have went back and you should look back there, but look. I don't want to go getting too much crap on my fingers, but I suppose I should have went back for a look. But isn't it funny where I'm going to show you. So on this occasion, she didn't actually break up and fall down, but it did melt in here heavily. Crinkly dinkly, he says. Okay. Exhaust temperature sensor 2. And soot accumulation fault found. Now I do know that it's a couple of weeks since this owner contacted me. Maybe 2. I was going to say 1, maybe 2. From the point of first communication to today. So in theory, could he have put in some stuff in there? Again, it's weird, isn't it weird? You know the way you'd be trying to join the dots. So you have soot accumulation. Is a DPF regeneration needed? No, because there's no back pressure. Because the DPF is in theory after breaking up and melting out of it. What caused this? Is there something that's causing it on 2 cars? I don't know. Okay, once we know is what's our problem, our DPF being blocked, potentially giving us EGR faults, etc. Now I'm chasing after what has caused this to happen. I'm going to ask the customer if he, in theory, would have been putting a lot of chemicals into this thing, which in turn would burn hotter and in turn melt potentially the DPF out of it. But what I have found in the immediate anyway is, and this is at this point all I've seen, is that we have a manifold absolute pressure sensor blocked solid. So I'm going to clean that. So she wouldn't be seeing the boost pressure, and if it wouldn't be seeing the boost pressure, it wouldn't be seeing the actual density of the air getting into the engine, and then would be probably running rich, which in turn would give us blocked DPF, which in turn would make more frequent regenerations happen. And then if the man did put in a chemical or two to try and alleviate and or fix this problem. But that's where we're at right now. Inside of the intake of the map sensor is blocked and the inside of the intake manifold is blocked. I actually have a borescope, which I meant to show sitting around here. See if I can. You can see big clumps of carbon hanging around there. They're the ports. Is it a good enough picture? Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to get because I can move my camera, but then once I take my hand back, there's our ports. I'm getting a glare, sorry. There's our ports actually in there. And there, as I said, big clumps of stuff sitting around inside the intake manifold. So she needs an intake manifold decarb and map sensor to be cleaned. And then thereafter, we need to fit a DPF. And then probably need to confirm with the customer whether he put in chemicals or not to try and fix or alleviate this problem. Could that have caused that to burn out? Or is it a manufacturing issue? Because this is the second one within a very short time frame that I have encountered this. 16 or 17 Astra there about a month ago, 4 weeks ago, and now this. Okay, for now anyway, probably not going to show. I'm going to get authorization first on getting a DPF, and I'm also going to get authorization on cleaning the intake manifold, yes, and roll forward from there. I've been talking to the customer. He has, and after a bit of debate, and we've agreed to fit a second-hand diesel particulate filter, not new. They're about €2,500, so they're quite expensive. He's also only agreed to cleaning the map sensor. So not the best repair to be getting because he's only going some of the way. I would advise potentially new. I would also advise cleaning and walnut blasting the intake manifold. And he's not doing it. He's only doing the map sensor. So for now, we're going to go along. We're going to put on our notes that we do need an intake manifold clean. I'm going to do a 2-week follow-up to see where we're going. And I'm also going to give it a drive before it goes back to the customer. But that's where we're at right now. Going to get a DPF fitted for this and then fitted on it. Okay guys, a couple of days have passed. I'm after ordering for this chap that thing, used DPF, and that has been pre-cleaned. But we are after having a look in there and we are intact. I've also sent a borescope in the top just to make sure my SCR is intact, and it is. So this thing is going to get fitted. Once it's on, once I alleviate and give myself a bit of back pressure and put everything kind of right, we can do a little bit of digging to see is there something that caused this. Or I must maybe even check it out and see, is there kind of a known fix? Because I have hit this before. Is there something that's, is it just an ailment? Are they weak? I asked the man and he said he didn't put additives into it. There was my gut feeling that someone put in a lot of additives, but he says no. So look, we don't know. I'm going to go along. I'm going to get this thing fitted, see where we're at. Shouldn't be too bad. A couple of stone guard pieces. 1, 2. Couple of lock connectors then, because I'm going to have temperature sensors, oxygen sensors, blah, 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 but I actually got them on that, which is a good thing. So we're just going to get this thing fitted as fast as we can. Carrot running, see where we go. Okay guys, from the bottom, I have 1 bolt, nut, 2 nuts, 3 out of my exhaust here. I've disconnected the exhaust temperature sensor there. Up top we had one as well that I had, but I had to remove the actual battery to get in at that. I have 2 differential pressure pipes taken off. They are 2 different sizes, so they're not, interchangeable. And that's kind of it. This thing I think is going to fall out now. I have taken off this big C clamp on the top. I had that taken off before I came down underneath, but this thing is now ready to come out at this point. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to drop it out there in a second. Hopefully it'll fall out easy. It is quite easy now to do that. Heat shields swapped across. I did weirdly have my temperature sensor, which is the exact same. By the way, I had a look at part numbers just sitting there on the side of the bottom. We're pointing in a different direction. But that diesel particulate filter is off a Corsa, a 2019, not a Corsa, Astra, off the 2019 Astra, which is marked in there somewhere. I'm not even going to try and show you, but it is wrote on it in there. But I have the heat shields transferred over. Time to offer it back up and into place now. Okay, back together. Time to give this thing a turn of the key, fire it up, and potentially get out on the road and see what we see. Sorry, I'm squeezing in here a bit. See, it's a little bit tight and a little bit awkward. Going to get the scan tool up, running, and once the scan tool is on her, have a look at a bit of live data, see where we're at, see what we're up against, and make sure everything is doing what it should do. I know we haven't had an intake manifold decarb, but I cleaned the map sensor, which I didn't show, but it is done with only a fast little tip of a nozzle cleaner set is what I'd have, little variable little pins in them. Right, we'll get out on the road, see what way she acts, see how I go. Back together, guys, out on the road, looking at a little bit of live data, and I just seen my DPF regeneration status is gone to active. I'm looking at back pressure. I'll run through this crack in a little bit more detail, but it is in a regeneration. Now has been 589 kilometers since the last regeneration. I'm going to let that go and drop to 0. Okay, I didn't get far after stopping and recording the last glance because I'm only about a kilometer or so away from it. Still stopped on the side of the main road. Regeneration status not required. Distance since last DPF regeneration 0. So this thing has done an active regeneration, and it sees that the DPF was in there. It did think there was a DPF in there, that only just burnt a hole in it anyway all along, but right now it has just done it again because the new DPF was in there, saw a slight little bit of pressure in there again, and lo and behold, it done an active regeneration. So with do, I'm going to continue on for another couple of miles because I'm, as I said, I'm on the side of the main road, and we're going to just do our final thought once we get back to the garage. That is it, guys. We are back. We've 11 kilometers. Holy God. Since last regeneration. Again, not needed. Temperatures, average temperature during regeneration 624. Right now, after the burn, I've been given it average DPF regeneration 416. Map sensor, we don't care about any crack right now. So that's kind of it, guys. So yeah, where are we? Just a fast synopsize where we are. 401, P0401, P2033, temperature sensor, 2085, temperature sensor DPF, and 200C, high temperature. That's it. We are done. I am happy. He did bring it to another garage, R2, he said, but he personally didn't put in additive in it. I think the burn is from maybe a forced regeneration, R2, with chemical inside in the tank, or whatever it may be. It's my frame of thought. Also, the map sensor being blocked, I would have advised intake manifold decarb. He's not going for it. He can't afford it actually right now. So look, okay. We're going to do a 2 or 3 week follow-up just to make sure everything's all right, but that's where we'd be at. Other than that, we are in theory done. I'm happy. I'm leaving the car out, and I'll talk to you all next cartoon. Peter Kennedy signing out, lads. Talk to you later. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next cartoon, boys.